Okay, how many people we got on? Not many, but we'll start. Give me a sec. Okay, g'day guys, and hopefully for people to join in later on, you could benefit from this. What I'm going to cover today is pretty much Bitcoin. Again, revisit certain models and anticipate what the moves are, what the indicators tell us, in the bigger picture, and also looking at the short time frame as well, and see if we can do anything with it and capitalize on it. And then if there's any extra time, we can look at some alts. So let's look at Bitcoin again. So some time back, I had this, well, I suppose when it got a good rejection at this level, if I put the Fibonacci into it, you could actually, it was from here to there. We didn't pass that level. Let me just change the color so you can have a better view of this. Okay. So what we can do is from the bottom to the top, like you can see, it's perfectly on the 0.382 level. And if I was to put the 0.5, where is it? We didn't even get there. So from this bounce, we were expecting that, and we didn't get there. With the other charts, we can look at where's the resistance coming from. And if we look at this, you can see this green line, which is the daily 200 moving average. It was perfectly acting as resistance. It's also the 20 weekly moving average. So everything points to, so if we go to the weekly, you'll see that the 20 moving average also, I think it's a 50 actually, could be the 50. No, it's a 20. The 50 and the 20 merge on the weekly, as well as the 200 daily. So it's a very, very powerful resistance. And if I was to put the Fibonacci on that, as you saw before, it's right on the 0.382 as well. So both moving averages, a number of moving averages, as well as the Fibonacci, it is a strong resistance. And this black band I have here was my key level to break or hold. And this, you can see this candle, weekly candle, very bearish weekly candle. So I'm expecting it to visit this trend line, which is about 34.5 to 35, somewhere around there. So looking at that rejection, the momentum is towards the downside. And if we look at this indicator that I come across not that long ago, give me a sec. Maybe I'll just change the background color for a sec. No, that wasn't the color I wanted. You can see with this indicator, it's very, like you can see that is a bearish divergence that's taken from the top. And I've got this trend line and it's even broken that. So 40K was about 40 something K was the level that was holding this up. And once we broke down, that was the bearish candle. Now see this, I'm doing a Fibonacci on this indicator, by the way. So when you look at this indicator and the Fibonacci level, you can see the 0.618 is acting as resistance as well, which equates to a number of things that I already explained. So 40, I think it was 42K. If we were to hold above 42K, then you will start considering it. And that was based on that band. So there's a number of levels that we just couldn't break. And if I was to change the color back, I'm looking for this trend line to be broken before it becomes bullish. So now we have established 2 points, that point there and that point there. So now this becomes relevant. So moving forward, if we look at this on the weekly, this trend line becomes relevant. And so far, I'm thinking we've got a number of confluences there, and I'm just going to put that straight line there. Now you can see potentially a pattern's emerging. Now, so we have this bottom layer there, and if we just put that into black, that was the previous bottom. And now you can see potentially, if we count, if this is our A, B, C, D, E could be that one, or E could be down there. Sometimes it overperforms, and that's why I got this moving average, long-term moving average potentially. And so this long-term moving average historically was support, give or take. Anything above this, usually, so this is the capitulation, that was capitulation. So we might just drop a bit to go above, but I don't think that's going to be the case. I think this trend line that also I have here, everything seems to be, again, pointing to this level. And I should fix that line up a bit better with a thick line. Yep. So it could be a double bottom, and if it's a double bottom for this big formation, it's good, and it's fitting a descending wedge. So we can't tell if this is going to be the one. So that's pretty much a triple bottom before it goes up. And the way it might work out to be that we drop down to this trend line, which is pretty much confluent with previous support. Institutions came in there, and it might be the case where institutions will come back in again. So that is what I'm thinking at this point. Just no one's going to tell you where it's going to be. All we can do is take it one level at a time. So that's my thinking at the moment. We've got a number of reasons why that's the case. We've got the Fibonacci where it is. Now, if I go to another chart, make it a bit more clearer, and I can do this for a sec. Let me just hide everything so it doesn't actually just hide all these Fibonacci stuff. And I'm going to demonstrate that if we look at another method, fib extension from top to bottom to top, the swing, actually, we need to put the candlesticks back on. Okay. So we need the wicks. Without the wicks, it doesn't quite work. And you can see the Fibonacci of the 1.618 extension, right? So let me just double click on that. And I'll make it yellow so it stands out a bit. You can see it was the 1.618 level. Well, even though there's many other reasons why that was the case. Previous bottom as well. Level of significance. Again, so if we use that method from the top, no, that's not what I wanted. I wanted the extension. Give me a sec. Now we had the bounce. We can do this. We've got that one there, which is on the 618 level. So this is why it's a good support at the moment with the 618 extension. However, is it going to be that if it breaks that level? It could. But the one really stands out to me as well. Again, it's heading towards the 24 to 26 range. If I was to put the value on that, the 25K. So if you look at that previous chart, this trend line and this moving average is about 25,500 at the moment. And if the more it goes sideways, it sort of lines up with this as well, with this Fibonacci extension. So if we were to lose that bottom, roughly, then the Fib extension of 25K could be it. And basically, and if you know your early wave count, or this could be wave Actually, let me just do this for a sec. I won't do all that stuff. I can say that that's wave 3, that's wave 4. I'm looking for wave 5. All right, so if this is wave 5, so we just say that's 1, 2, 3, 4. We're looking for wave 5 from an Elliott wave perspective. So you need a background for this to understand Elliott wave theory. But if you do, we can also use another method where we get from the top to the bottom. And again, the 1.618, perfect. So you can see how many ways I'm looking at it, that this extension of about 25k is the worst case scenario if this was to work out. And we can't say anything until we break that key level. So we need to break this level. If we break that level, which is the 1.272 extension, then I'm pretty comfortable with the 1.618. I would definitely place a buy order, depending on how the charts look like. Definitely look at that position as buying in. And the worst case scenario is that this. I think this could be extension 2. But I just can't see that happening. So if I put 2, okay, that's 2 there. So it could go down to 20k. All right. So I'm looking from a number of perspectives. I think this is not a reversal. I think this is a continuation pattern. I could be wrong. Just by this last rejection, it does look like a bit of a macro bear flag just from the structure. This is definitely, so when you look at this structure, this is a bullish structure, because what we had in the past, you have a drop and then ever so more attempts to go lower. This didn't do that. This is trying to go higher. So this is basically the bulls getting exhausted to trying to hold it up. Here, this is oversold. Here, this is overbought in a way. Not enough bulls to reverse it. So eventually, this is just going to exhaust and drop. Now, the question is this the spot? I think that could be a good position to start leveling in. And the risk reward is from, if you were to buy here and it dropped, well, it's another 5k or whatever, but the risk reward is nowhere near as bad as from here. So I would tend to wait. So 34 to 35k would be interesting from a trading perspective. Macro wise, I still think the majority of the buyers will be here, just below this, because I think what happens is those that went, I don't know if they will do it, but we could bounce there, but it's not going to be straight away. It's going to take time. So if we see a long, if it's actually something descending, it's actually bullish. If we see something going like that, so let's clean this up a bit. If we drop and then we have this kind of movement, then you know it's going to be another drop. But if we had this kind of movement down, then you know that's going to be a bullish type. Could be an inverted head and shoulders structure there. So we don't know what the formation is going to be, but there's no rush. I would wait it out, give it a week or two to see what's happening. Maybe it's quicker, but this is the area of confluence. So let's look at that trend line. If I'll put the log back on. And I think I had that trend line. No, I think it was this one here. Okay. Yeah, so that trend line there, so far. If that breaks, we're going to go down further. At the moment, I think this is more relevant, but that was with the log settings. Actually, a bit more cleaner would be better. That like that. Double line. So you can see this trend line is very strong. But yeah, I do see this not a reversal. doesn't look like a reversal to me at the moment. It looks like a bit of a continuation pattern. And basically, it's like this. You have a formation of some sort, a big, and a continuation down. It's not a reversal structure. If this was something like, what was it? If it was something like that, that would have been different. Yeah, but it's not. It looks more like a continuation flag. So from there, forget about the wicks. So, and there's the next one there. So it looks like it's gonna be a bear flag, in my opinion. So that's what I got at the moment. So if you want to look closer to Bitcoin and what we can do right now, looking for opportunities to short, really. Let's have a look. Look at the 4 hour. Actually, here we go. So if we apply our Fibonacci to it, okay, so that looks pretty bearish at the moment. This was inverted head and shoulders, and we reached our target there. Now we're back here. It's no way of finding, yeah, so undecided market, it's going to be very hard to trade. If we can, if I was to get rid of this for a sec, let's see what we can do with the Bitcoin trading if there was an opportunity. At the moment, I don't see it. Let's just go more and more sideways. So if I was to use that level here, yeah, so if Bitcoin was to come, so 1, 2, is there any bullish divergence? Let's look at that. Let's look at the MACD. Well, there is bullish divergence in the making on the 4 hour, and I think this is playing out. However, can we use any of this? No, I don't think so. It's a pivot point. It's a good level of support, as you can see. So we've got support here, and I think it was due to volume, really. A volume indicator, let's put that in. From there to there. And we're going to have resistance there. So we had this bit of support there. This volume point of control. So this volume point of control, why is it always green? So that corresponds to that level. Then this level, the next volume of control, and this is the main one. So we're gonna find resistance there, and then we'll see if it continues down, or if it finds support again. And if we find support, we can potentially just go ranging sideways. I don't think that's going to happen. There was a clear rejection that level, and that's going to be a rejection. At the moment, there's no formation, so we can't. There's nothing really giving us a clue. If this was to come up, I think this will come back down again to this level. So we've got to keep an eye on that. Let's look at it from a RSI perspective. And RSI and Phoenix. Oops. So 50% on the RSI level is where you can go bullish, and we don't see that happening. It's way low, and it's just bottom doing what it did here. Really, there's no formation that we can really take. I just think, all right, here we go. I'm just going to imagine that this 50%, just pretty much like this here, this could probably come and down. And then we're going to have our RSI most likely to play this out, this line. And if price was to get there, I think it'll drop more. And even though it goes sideways, that could still mean going lower, further down. And then we'll look at this potential breakout. But the question is, how long would it be? Right now, the Phoenix, you can see the 50% is way up there. There's hardly any momentum. The green RSI is there, but the red is very bearish. The moment these buggers drop below 50% is when you had to go bearish, 100%. So once a red RSI dropped, you can see way up there, that was the time to short. Right there, time to short. I was asleep, so I missed that one. But you can see how this Phoenix works. And even though we had this nice bounce, the red RSI was rejected. So there is no momentum there at the moment. And then if we go into the bigger time frame on the 12-hour, you can see clearly, again, very similar to the green. Once it went below 50% right there, that was the first sign. Once the red RSI came down, that was it. It's bearish. And so now we are pretty much in momentum to the downside. There's a lot of momentum to the downside. And I want to do is see if there's any bullish. Yeah, okay, there's a bit of exhaustion, but that doesn't mean it can't. It's starting to show those dots. Yeah, so yeah, definitely downward momentum. And g'day, Casey. And so just using these indicators, it's downward pressure, basically it. Fits into my model. Now, if you followed some of my streams, you would have noticed that I use a number of tools to gauge what's happening on the macro level. So I have my, where is it? It's, okay, I've got to pull it out. Give me a sec. So tether dominance is one of my tools that I use just to gauge what's happening. And if you're in our group, community group, I did call this out, and it worked out. So when we had that good bounce, tether was dropping, and it came to this red support line, and you can see right then and there we had, and confluence to this level, a very strong support level, and the tether went back up. So historically, just a quick one, our 29 bottom was here, our 34K bottom was here. So I'm saying this is an accumulation area. So I do see this potentially going up again and back down. This will be an area to buy whenever Bitcoin hits that area. So if Bitcoin drops and hits this area, this is a strong buy area, basically based on previous support. Now, if it goes above, I'm talking about this is a bear market from a tether perspective. If tether dominance goes up much more than that, then that becomes a bear market. So at the moment, this indicator, if I was to just get rid of some of this, and I'll just focus on the big picture. So I'm using this point of reference here, and that line there. So I've got this black line. We popped up slightly above it, so this got this band across. So this level, as soon as tether goes up there, to me, that's a good level to jump back in. The risk-reward ratio is much better there. So if tether was to go up, at the moment, the candlestick is finding support. So crypto is finding support. No reversal candle. It's just still another, what is it? Another 11 hours to see how this candle finishes. So you can see my methodology just looking at other tools. And let's look at the 4-hour just on the other chart. So yeah, so we're finding a bit of resistance. But you can see this is pretty much, let's see, we've got bearish divergence a bit. Good bearish divergence. So we might find a bit of a bounce on Bitcoin based on this. This is support. Oh, okay. So if this comes back down to this level, I do see, if it comes to this level, I do see this come back up again. Bit of a cradle trade. So yeah, basically Bitcoin's going to go up a little bit, or crypto is going to go up. Some of them are. And you can see that level of support. That was support. So this is going to come down, and I think there was going to be a bullish candle. So you've got to keep an eye on this on the 4-hour. And if you see a green bullish candle, understand that crypto is going to drop more. At the moment, there is a bounce coming. Not much of a bounce, but it's coming. So that's what I have for Tether. And if I look at, oh, bugger. All right. I'm shorting Luna. So that was my entry. Hopefully it doesn't go any higher. So I did take some profit there. I'm going off the topic, but yeah, I'm just hoping this keeps going down. It'll be nice big short. Now looking at total market cap, let's see, that is another indicator of what's happening in the big picture of things. So what I showed you is the Bitcoin charts and the Tether chart, and now we're looking at the Bitcoin dominance chart. No, not Bitcoin, sorry, total market cap. The total market cap also does very well with finding the top and potentially finding the bottom. So if I was to just clean this up a bit, I'll just delete it, I suppose, if that will help. What we had previously, if you look at the total market cap from there to there, you can see, from the bottom to the top, you can see we hit the 1.272 extension and then we got rejected. Very, very similar to Bitcoin actually, the same extension from the previous top. So it was pretty clear. And if you look at, all right, let's see, pick a chart there. You can see bearish divergence coming in. As it's going up, we are pretty much having a bearish divergence on the total market cap. That's pretty much the clue that we're going to drop. How much we're going to drop, that I thought we actually will hold this level here. And we found the bounce, but you can see how it dropped. So it's a shame that we dropped. I thought that might, like Bitcoin, I thought it might continue on, but and that's where people fell for the trap. But you looking at the total market cap, you can also anticipate what the market's going to do. And right now, if I was to move that across, and very similar to, so you can see that is being the resistance, very, very much aligned with Bitcoin. So this band, if we were to pass this band, I would say we go bullish. All right. So that is probably equivalent to Bitcoin's 45K. So if we put Fibonacci onto this, top to bottom, very much the 0.5 Fib level is acting resistance. You can see this moving average again. This one is, I think that one is the weekly. Yeah, 50 weekly moving average. So we need to break that. And if I was to add the 20, that won't help. Actually, I'd like to see where the 100 is. For a sec, give me a sec. Okay. So that's a 100 moving average, and that could probably act like support as well. So the 100, and then we've got the 200. Where's the 200? That is a daily. Let's just okay. So we've got our levels here as well, from a total market cap perspective, and very similar to Bitcoin. I did swing low, swing high, swing low, and again, very similar. The 200 weekly moving average is equivalent to 1.414, and the 100 moving average is equivalent to 1 extension. So these are two levels that I'm interested in, besides the double bottom. Yeah, so using these as indicators, I'm interested in this level. Potentially, I can't see going that far low, but maybe. But right now, this level is definitely an area where we find a fair bit of support. And you can see the confluence along there. That was previous resistance, support. So this didn't quite come down to it. This might just come a bit lower. But this Fibonacci at the moment is holding it up. So you can see a lot of confluence with the total market cap as well. All right, so let me have a look at if there's any questions that people want to ask. No questions, all right. So any coins that you want to look at, we can go for it. I have a number of models. So this is one model where I do see it breaking down. Let me just do this for a sec. Macro models. Let's look at the macro models. We have a few, not many, but a few. I can get rid of that. Put the plan and then track it against the plan. So what plans can we have? Like I said, this also looks bearish, right? From this perspective. So far that looks bearish. Very different to that. If I was thinking of this as a top distribution, so this was a distribution structure, that was a distribution structure, that was a reaccumulation. This doesn't look like accumulation. This looks like a continuation. So what we're looking for is an accumulation structure. Now, I show you one of the theories. One of the theories is we have this. At the moment, this could be a channel of some sort. And if I was to just hide that for a sec, the other one could be potentially, we'll see what happens there. You know? We have, so this could be a descending wedge of some sort. And if we just continue down and then we just reverse, and then we'll have an idea if the descent is slow and measured, then it will look like reaccumulation. So that's one potential structure. If you look at this from another one, I can hide those as one model. I can put this in, and you can also say that this is a channel of some sort, give or take. I don't see that happening. I just don't see this finding support there. But this was a case where, I think I shared it, where this will be our A, this will be our B, that was our C, and 50% was going to be our D and an E around here. So we were going to have, and I think this is not going to, I think this is not happening. I thought that might be the case. I'm not leaning towards this much because if I look from there, actually maybe it's from there, and I'll just put the defaults. Actually, it might work still. Just want basic at the moment. You can see from this perspective, the D actually worked, but this looks more bearish. So this could be a E. Okay, that could be a reversal. So structure, say if I was to do this, if you know the alley wave charts, this could be a and pretty much this is a reversal structure. This could be an E. And that basically means it continues down. And I showed you the reasons. I mean, if you can look at these reasons, if that was the case, this is the area that we're going to look at. And if you look at from a macro perspective, if you try to find confluence, that might work. Forget about this COVID event, the Black Swan event. This here looks like good support. If we would just use our imagination, that is there. So we had a triangle here, all right, that seemed to work. That was our triangle. And we did that. So if we count that, then we have to look, then we have to use a different way. And that's pretty much the trend line from here all the way through. And we're just going to make it a bit more balanced. This level, that's a level of significance. And again, the 1.618 might be the case. So you can see from a mini perspectives that we've got a few models coming out of it. And if this was to work out, that let's just do that again. We can just get rid of those. Whoops. So that area is very. If I was bearish, I'll be looking at those levels again. I think 24.5 is, to me, more so around here. CME gap is that level, so we have a CME gap right there, and you can see that if the CME gap's filled, depending how this comes down, if this comes down like that, then that makes sense. If it comes down hard, then it'll probably go down to that level. But if this goes slowly, it might fill in the CME gap and then back up. And you can see it took a while from there to there. We've got what have we got? We've got a Adam and Eve formation there. Here we've got triple bottom type of scenario, reversal. So we're gonna look for some sort of structure as it comes down, and it could be that could be a V, and then an Adam and Eve type of scenario as well. Imagination, we've got time, but as I said, we've got levels to play with, and these massive. This is in line with the logarithmic curve. So if we were to add the logarithmic curve, let's see, where are we? If we add that one, That's not the one. Is it this one? There you go. So let me just get rid of the other one. So if we use this or logarithmic curve, again, it's historically, oh, come on, give me a break. If we move this across, this bottom level is always been the accumulation level, and you can see pretty much what I've drawn fits into that level. So here, average price, this level is going to be our range to accumulate, no lower. So I don't think it'll go low, right to the bottom. That's a black swan event, unless we have one of those. But you can see how that is starting to turn out. Many options to come, many things to watch, but that bottom of one fits smack bang in the middle of this. Yep, smack bang. There you go. So we can probably ignore these ones and go with the logarithmic curve, and we have some means of measure. And there you go. Right now, you can see right on the tip of it, it's being held up. Interesting enough. We're just getting closer. So we had a few dips in that area. There's other logarithmic curves charts that you can. It's more granular, and right now we can see that top. Previously, this was the support. You can see how that played support there. Once it broke above, you act as support. We never reached it again, but that was the first. And again, the wick. So I think the fact that we touched it a few times, I think it's going to come down. And now we can look at on-chain data stuff, and that can also support us. But right now, I think we might have a bit of a move to the upside. Not much, because it's a bit of a sellout, and like the US Tether said, I think we'll get a nice rejection here, maybe close to the 40k, maybe 39,600. It probably gives us an opportunity to short. Let's see how that measures up. The 0.5, yep. There you go. Let's see, Luna. Okay. Yeah, Luna's got a bit of momentum to the upside, but not much. Okay. So let's look at a few charts before I call it quits. So that's my total market cap. I might just save that. I'll leave that for a sec. Yeah, so that looks nice. Weekly chart wise, we got a bit of a support there. So on the weekly level, so that's the weekly level really. At the end of the day, we come down to the previous week bottom, and we found support. And do we have any? So here's a weekly level right there. So there's a bit of support there, but once that breaks, yeah, it's down. Yeah, so that's the next weekly support there. So that's probably 36. Well, you might find some bit of support, and then you got all this level here, which is 35. So along with this trend line, so we can see it's not going to just dump. I don't think so. I think it's going to just come down here, and it's going to really be tested. So this is still positive. I think we can still find some good trades. I wouldn't trade here. I'll leave that alone. I'll wait for the bottom. Now I think there'll be much more. So this range here, this pocket, I think is a good entry, and then probably another rejection and back potentially. Anyway, it could probably go back up. If it breaks that level, that trend line, I'll be interested. But who knows what it will do? I'll be interested in that kind of move. So leave it alone. Leave it alone, and hopefully I'll do another stream and say when to buy in if indicators say go long. But right now, there is no trade, and it's difficult. If you didn't make the most of it here to short, don't short here. This is nasty. Unless there's some alts that could do it, but at the moment, this area you don't do anything right now. There is nothing given. And if you look on the 5-minute chart, let me see what does a 5-minute show me. I need to get rid of the let's go to another chart, 5 minutes. Let's see what it tells me. We can get rid of that. Yeah, so it's bottom ranging. Maybe just a bit of a reversal coming. Yeah, just maybe come back up to here to 39,600. So I think this might be able to just go up there and then back down again. So we'll find some range here and then reassess. But yeah, I would look, if anything moves quick up, short. If it moves quick, it's what is it called? It's a bull trap. Just short it. And if it dumps very quickly down, it's a bear trap. Buy. At this point, these quick moves, anything that moves quick, go the opposite direction. Those are the things that I will recommend. But if it works out, I'm just saying it right now. If anything happens like that, quick move, short it or long it, but take a profit very quick. That to me, this is the range right now. That top and this bottom is the range, and I think we're going to be here for a while before it figures itself out for any trades. So I'll leave it at that one. Let's see what we got. This EFTM, I haven't seen that for a while. Well, no, Andre's coming out. Okay, so now capitulation, and I missed out, bugger. Showing to me that so that was, I knew it. Bugger. Because with the bad news for FTM, people panic sell, and now that looks like a bargain. However, looking at that is a double bottom. So, bugger, man. I went to the gym, I missed out. That is a good level of entry, but you can see maybe that it might just stay around here for a while with that trend line, because that trend line looks strong to me. So I don't know. We'll see what happens, but it's already to the bottom. That doesn't look good, and generally that will be a good buy, and your stop loss is just slightly underneath it. Averaging is probably good. If you look at that, let's see how that equates. Now 618 below 618. Okay. Let me just flip that onto the other side. Give it a bigger picture. Let's just add our fib extension to see what was a target. 786, all right. So it's not. Yeah, that was a 786. Interesting. And you can see how all these levels have confluence. So this one here, let's get rid of that. Just get rid of that for a sec. Yeah, it's not going to be an easy one to trade. I'll stay away from it, that's for sure. That would have been a double bottom. That would have been a good entry, but I don't know how much it's got to go. If we start seeing some reversal pattern, nice. Can this be? It's not a nice formation at all. There's no good formation at all. What you'll see is a lot of touches, and there's not much. Actually, this is the one. So if we've got that, a bit of a channel to the downside. So I think this is likely to happen. Sorry. Down to this level. That'll be a good spot to buy. Got the fib extension, previous support, and then it'll be a good entry. Will it hold? Maybe so. But yeah. So what we have, I'd make it thick. Got this massive reversal structure. Let's do the log. It's actually a triangle. Yeah. So it's already, to me, it looks like it's broken down already, really. Can we do that? Don't know. I think that was it there. So that level there is going to be resistance. So that would definitely be a good shorting position and further down. And a broadening structure from the log on. So this could be a nice reversal structure. Yeah, but I am looking to short. I'll be looking to short. It's got confluence with this level. Perfect. Previous resistance, resistance, support, trend line. I think that will be a good spot to. If it gets there, I'll definitely look to short. So that's my FTM outlook. I'll keep that there for now. Let's look at Ethereum. I think Ethereum's going to drop a lot. I remember looking at it some time back. Where are we? This is my master Ethereum chart. Funny enough, we have Ethereum logarithmic curve as well. And you can see that level, the middle, is the average. So we're slightly below it on the weekly. And let's see what other charts we got. Let me just actually this one probably better. This is another golden ratio Fibonacci channel. So I got the daily, and you can see the daily with the Phoenix is very, very low down momentum. Downward pressure still there. And if I was very similar to Bitcoin, if I was to I'll just do blue on this one. So we have our levels, and that was definitely our level. So you can see that trend line, strong trend line of resistance, and then we got this Fibonacci middle to act as resistance. It's looking like a continuation pattern as well. so far. I don't think it's a reversal. I think it's going to drop. That looks like a nice... So this is a daily chart. And realistically, that looks like that level. So if you drop that level, you know it's going to drop a lot. That's definitely a level if it drops there, I would definitely think it's a good shorting opportunity. That's for sure. And I think that's where the target is. If we drop that level, and let's see, do the Fibonacci's comply? Actually, it's a bit lower. So I might just come down to this level. Let's see if there's anything else. Anyway, first things first, this level is going to be support, and there's going to be a fight there for sure. So is it worth entering now? I do have a short going on Ethereum. Where am I? Where's my Ethereum short? Okay. Where's my short there? Okay. $2,946. $2,946. Where we go? That's my short position. Okay. Maybe I'll take some profit. All right. Any other charts that we can look at? BNB. I was looking to look at BNB in a different way. Come on. BNB is a bit difficult as well. Resolve this wick here. That doesn't really help. We can have that as well. So you can see something. If we drop that level, and I think I was looking at it pretty much like a continuation. It looks like a reversal as well, so it's a bit difficult on this one. Get rid of that. It can be a reversal, but definitely if we drop that level there, we're going to come down to, I think we'll come, this does look like a nice bullish structure actually. So that's one low, a bit lower, and the third low is really, if this comes down here, this is a perfect buy, 300, and I think that could be a reversal structure. That looks nice as a reversal structure. There's that ever so chance that could actually just drop further. So you've got to be careful. But yeah, I do see that level of interest, which is somewhere in the middle of there, isn't it? Let's see what that tells us from a volume perspective. There to there. Point of control, perfect. Okay, so that does come nice to the point of control as well. So I'll be interested in that level there to go along for trade. And anyway, I'm going to wrap it up, guys. If you've got any questions, shoot away. Otherwise, I'm done. And for those who missed out, you can go back on this YouTube channel as well, give it time, or you can replay this channel and look at the details I've gone through. There's a lot of stuff I'll post up in the past. There's a bit of information there as well if you're interested. But anyway, these are the things I try to explain myself as to justification. What we do is we plan and track and adjust, and never always be flexible. In the short term, this is not an easy area to trade, so I wouldn't trade. I'll just sit back and wait. Anyway, thanks for joining. Give me a like and a share. Come and join our channel. It's under my signature. 10 days trial free. Join the community, and we'll talk to you soon. Cheers.